Hi everyone, often I get the question which is the best phone that I should get when it comes to the camera, and simply put, that's not an easy answer, especially in 2024. You can have different discussions about preferences but also price. For instance, look at this. This is the Vivo X100 Ultra, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra and the Nubia Z60 Ultra leading version. But when it comes to these, they are very different in experience and very different in price as well, especially if you look at the Nubia Z60 Ultra. And then as well you have something like the Sony Xperia 1 Mark VI. No, this is a very different kind of discussion when it comes to the phone itself. But there are genuine discussions that you need to have when it comes to these kinds of phones. And what the experience is like and which one you should get or which one is my favorite. Because what my favorite is might not be the favorite one for you. This video is more about which one you potentially should get depending on your preferences. So let's discuss that in this video. Which is the one for you and which one should you get based on my experience? Again, this is very hard to do, but we'll give it a shot to showcase which one you should get potentially, maybe, possibly. It's gonna be a hard one. Either way, let's dive into the video. Now, let me start with the last one that I held, and that's the Sony Xperia 1 Mark VI. And this is much harder to categorize compared to before. I felt like Sony was always that professional phone when it comes to the experience of the camera itself. The camera app, especially when it comes to that, was one of those that stood out. And I feel like this year they went down a little bit in terms of that experience. That being said, in terms of pictures, Sony has always been the more natural looking phone, if that makes sense. When it comes to the experience of that, and especially using the main sensor, I feel like Sony does it really well to give you that natural, authentic look. And not authentic as in Xiaomi authentic, which means, of course, quite a bit more contrasty and a more dramatic look, but authentic in terms of, like, if the image is flat in terms of real life, then it's going to be that on the phone. If it's bright and saturated, it's going to be that in real life. It captures the scenes really well, and I think there Sony does it one of the best when it comes to that kind of experience. It's not going to be the best in terms of dynamic range, and I definitely think it now kind of lacks that experience that I love about Sony. But with that being said, I think there it's one of those where it really excels. But realistically, when it comes to the Sony Xperia 1 Mark VI, I would go for the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V. It does have that separate app for video recording right now, where it is promised in the future for the 1 Mark VI. And of course you do have that camera app that is more distinguished and of course for me nicer in terms of control and of course doing your own things in manual. And then we have Vivo. Wow, there is so much to say about Vivo, especially this year with the X100 Ultra. Holy damn, they made a good phone. But still, there are things that come down to preferences and different situations that you have to take in account, where I think that the Vivo X100 Ultra excels. I have my preferences, and we know I have them. I like a bit of a moody shot, a bit more contrasty, a bit less bright. And therefore you would say, well, the Vivo doesn't fit that image, but it can, depending on the situation that I'm at. If I take a beach shot or something that needs more vibrance, something that has that look that I'm looking for in terms of more modern art, more modern infrastructure, more modern buildings or anything like that, I think there the Vivo excels. Especially if I go, for instance, like a flower shot, if I want to use macro in different modes, if I want to have that possibility of portrait and that different styles that are actually really, really good, including now black and white, there Vivo excels. And I think there the Vivo X100 Ultra is definitely one of those phones that I can easily recommend based on what it is capable of. Is it going to be the best in terms of moody shots? No, and it definitely doesn't have the same feel as you get with the Xiaomi. But with that being said, that feel depends on the situation. It's not always the answer where I feel like Xiaomi does it best because it has the best feel. Because no, when it comes to street photography, for instance, I think that the Vivo X100 Ultra beats the Xiaomi when it comes to that feel and look that I'm going for. Especially when I went on a trip to Germany, Cologne, I think I'm saying that correctly. There, the Vivo X100 Ultra easily wins over the Xiaomi. So it really depends on the situation that you're looking for. And I think there, the Vivo X100 Ultra excels compared to its competitors, and there I think the strength lies when it comes to Vivo. And then we have devices like the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. So much to say about the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, especially looking at the beginning. Boy, was that a bad start when it comes to Xiaomi. The start of it was so poor when it comes to the camera experience on it that I felt like I wanted my Xiaomi 13 Pro back. And that's still a phone I would easily recommend for the price and for the results that you're getting, including the floating lens that I often use as well. When it comes to Xiaomi, however, the strength lies in creating a lot of character in the shot itself. So if you look at an old building, for instance, that has a lot of character, and you want to capture that character and that feel inside that shot. And there, Xiaomi does it really well to give you that image that fits that feel, that unique look that you can get with Xiaomi that others just don't do as well. And there is where Xiaomi excels as well in details with macro photography. It's not the best in macro photography. The Vivo X100 Ultra beats it at that. But when it comes to the textures and details that it has in it, it does do it better depending on the situation, especially with red in there. Either way, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra excels at those moody shots, the feel being captured well, having contrast in the shot itself, allowing shadows to exist, because that just allows a little bit of depth in the shot itself. There, Xiaomi excels, and I think there, Xiaomi is an answer for you if you look for that kind of style in the photography side of it. Then we have something that is so unique in a way. The Nubia Z60 Ultra and leading version as well, because both of them get a similar experience. And of course the Z60S Pro if you use the main sensor. Now the Nubia Z60 Ultra leading version, I'm gonna call it leading version from now on because it's a way too long name. Even more so if I put ZTE Nubia Z60 Ultra leading version in it. I almost forgot how to say it because it's such a long name. Either way, when it comes to the Nubia, I will say, when it comes to the camera experience, where it excels is urban photography. Having a 35mm equivalent makes the shot more compressed. So what you get normally when it comes to using a ultra wide or a wide on your main camera is that things get stretched out more. For instance, I have a light right here. If I would put that light on the shot itself with a 50mm, you can see that it's quite close to me. Having a 24mm would create the effect of it being stretched out, being further away from me, if that makes sense. That's the best way to describe it. I'll show some shots with the difference, but when it comes to having that experience of a 35mm equivalent as the main sensor without it being cropped in the sensor itself, because that is what you get with other phones, what Xiaomi does allow, and Vivo as well, getting a 35mm equivalent, it isn't native. This is a native 35mm equivalent, and that's something that is definitely beneficial when it comes to urban photography, when it comes to street photography as well. I think that kind of phone excels in those kinds of situations. Now, when it comes to the leading version, it's not going to be the best in terms of updates. It's definitely not. Because simply put, it won't have that many updates. But when it comes to price to performance, it's one of those that I can easily recommend, because price to performance, it's really good. And I've taken some amazing shots on this leading version, but also the regular Z60 Ultra. Both amazing phones and both have great capabilities. Now, you're not gonna buy it for the selfie capabilities, because simply put, it's kind of shit. It's not good when it comes to the selfie capabilities because it's under the display. But when it comes to the main sensor, the zoom capabilities, and of course ultra wide as well, which is 18mm, which I prefer myself over a 13 or a 12 or even more crazy. But when it comes to that, I feel like the Nubia leading version in this case is really one of those that I can easily recommend if you love urban photography. But also, a small tip. When it does come to the Nubia, make sure that you tap the location that you want to focus on and just turn down the brightness a bit. It's not overexposed like we get with the Honor 200 Pro, but it's more that you create a bit more contrast to the shot itself, and then the shot definitely looks better compared to without it. Another one that I can easily recommend when it comes to price to performance is of course the iQOO 12. This is one of those that you should really put on your list if you want price to performance. And no, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is not one of those that I would recommend when it comes to price to performance, nor the camera in general. That phone you get for good software and good software support, but definitely not for the camera. And then we can go to lower prices as well. And here I feel like, again, I want to really stress that you don't always need to buy the latest and greatest, because in the phone segment things might move fast. But I can still easily recommend till this day the Xiaomi 13 Pro. I can easily recommend something like the OnePlus 11 that still captures amazing shots as well. Is it as good as the Xiaomi 13 Pro? For me personally, no. But with that being said, if you like the style that you get with Hasselblad collaboration and OnePlus, then definitely it's still one of those devices that I can recommend. I've taken great shots with it. And yes, it's a year old, but who cares if you get results that matter? Who cares if battery life is still solid? Who cares if display is still good? Who cares about any of that? When it comes to the capabilities of flagships from last year, they're still really capable. And if you want that style that I spoke about of Xiaomi, but you don't want to spend the money that you need to pay for something like the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, then get the Xiaomi 13 Pro, which is really capable. And I would say better in portrait as well, because there it excelled at. I think when it comes to portrait photography, the Xiaomi 13 Pro was really, really, really solid. Now, I don't have one currently, so I don't know if the updates ruined it, but when it came to while using it, it's one of those that I can easily recommend, especially when it comes down to the price that you're paying for it. And of course, we have mid-range phones as well. Now, I always say when it comes to the camera experience, a lot of it comes down to the user, and I don't mean that in a rude way, but if pictures don't come out well enough on current phones, then most of the time it's somewhat dependent on the user itself. And I feel like that still counts, depending on the phone that you're getting still. But when it comes to, for instance, phones like Poco, where you get the X6 Pro, for instance, the camera capabilities are actually quite decent. It's not going to blow you away, and we have a useless 2 megapixel sensor that no phone should ever have. But when it comes to the capabilities of it, it's still acceptable, and it still gives you a style that works well and styles that you can play around with. And that's kind of a phone that I would recommend if you go for a lower price as well. And for instance, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus. Why is it such a name? But when it comes to that one, for instance, I can easily recommend that as well, because the capabilities are really solid still for the price that you're paying. Sure, it's not going to beat something like the Xiaomi 13 Pro, and if you can get the Xiaomi 13 Pro for something like 50 euros more, definitely go for that one. But when it comes to the price for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus, definitely one of those devices that I can easily recommend as well. And when it comes to the style, it's not the same. It's a bit more brighter, it's a bit more exposed in terms of the shot itself. It doesn't have as much contrast, and therefore that style is quite a bit different compared to their flagships. But when it comes to that one, I feel like if you want that a little bit brighter shot, then something like that phone will help you out. Either way, I hope this video kind of helped you out in terms of what kind of phone you should get. Now, there are phones that I'm leaving out because, simply put, I don't have that access to a lot of phones. I haven't used, for instance, the OnePlus 12 that I want to use. I haven't used, for instance, Oppo that I also want to use, but that's just the reality of it. I'm quite small when it comes to the channel itself, so I cannot give you a definitive answer on how those perform. I can give you a guide to where it might lead you to when it comes to photography, but I cannot give you a full answer on how capable it is, and therefore I kind of don't want to discuss that one separate like I did with, for instance, the phones that I showcased at the beginning. But with that being said, you can help me out by either subscribing, that's easy, and liking the video, watching it in completion, and of course comment below and so on. Interacting with my stuff basically helps out a lot. Watch time is definitely one of those key things that is really important as well. But when it comes to the channel itself, you can also become a member. You don't have to be, but you can become a member. And thank you for those who are already member, because I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, because this channel does require quite a bit of work, and next to it I do some 3D stuff as well. And then, you know, I'm trying to run my second channel, Concept Creator, as well. So I'm trying to make it where I become independent when it comes to this kind of stuff. And then I can hopefully showcase different locations better and showcase travels and so on, where I feel like I get more interaction with you guys, as in I can make it more of a story, if that makes sense, while showcasing the result of said camera on the phone itself. Either way, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that stuff. And talk to you guys in the next.